What is up, you guys? It is your boy, Keep It Real, and I hope that you guys are having a fantastic start to your week. Now, you guys knew that I was going to talk about this. It's Helldivers 2, baby. And the reason I'm going to be talking about Helldivers 2 is because it is a true fight for the democracy and the right of the human population. Okay? This is the best game, multiplayer game that we've had in a very long time. And I'm saying best for personal. I'm not saying best as in if you play Minecraft and you like Minecraft, then it's the best game in the world. I'm saying that this is a very good multiplayer experience, one of the best that I have had in my entire life of playing online games. I have sunk in so many hours to this game and I still cannot stop thinking about it. It's been almost a month that this game has come out, and yet this game still has a humongous peak on Steam. If you guys take a look at my screen right here, 431,000 a month after the game's release. A month after the game's release, and it's still peaking. Look at these peaks. Look at this. Consistent growth. Sure, there was a little drop off right here, but we're back to it, baby. Every single day. It doesn't matter. 3 months. It didn't even come out 3 months ago. Look at that. Consistent rise. It started off with just 64 on the release date and consistently climbed up to 458,000. You guys gotta understand that that is an outrageous number for not only a PlayStation exclusive being on Steam. I wouldn't even call it a PlayStation exclusive, but an Arrowhead game, a sequel to something that was very low key, not very, people liked the game, but it wasn't to this degree. This game has just been so full of everything. And the game I want to compare it to is sadly the Suicide Squad. And the Suicide Squad, bless their heart, I feel terrible for every company. Rocksteady, I can't believe that this was released. But look at this. 621 players. Look at the contrast. 431,000. They're both multiplayer games, online, co-op, PvE. There's no PvP in either one. They're both third person, and they both are in very big spaces. Consistent missions, fighting enemy armies. A lot of people will. What's the biggest difference? What is causing this? What is causing this? This steady decline from 12,000 players. Again, this is a month old. This game is just released the week prior to Helldivers 2. And if we look, the chart says it all itself. That consistent growth versus that steep drop. It's because this game right here, baby, Helldivers 2, is one of the best monetized games I have ever seen. It's not greedy. It's $40 on Steam. So it's relatively cheap. When you have to make a gigantic commitment to whether you want to play a $70 trash game or a $40 one that you can convince your friend to pay $40 for because of all the great things that you've seen online, whether it's the funny videos or the maddening just hordes of aliens coming down at you wave after wave, and you don't know what to do, and you're overwhelmed, and you're calling in missiles, you're calling in orbitals, and you're just swamped. But it's just you and the guys, you and your girls, just popping it out, shooting all these dang aliens and automatrons. Man, we gotta make sure we're not conquered, baby. You guys already know if you're playing the game, we gotta make sure we're not dropping it. We look at some reviews on Metacritic right here, sitting at an 83 on PC, which is great for a multiplayer game. They usually release around the 70, 80 mark, and this is just slightly above. Again, it released to terrible server issues, and it was fixed almost immediately. The Arrowhead CEO has been very vocal about updates for the game. He's been very vocal, period, with the community. Let's read this first review because it speaks to me. Helldivers 2 is a massive success, a breath of fresh air for the entire industry. Arrowhead Game Studios surprises with an exceptional game that delivers an epic cinematic sensation, keeping you on the edge of your seat without any pretensions. All of this achieved without succumbing to the vices of the industry, where players are often exploited. That's all I gotta read from that review. Let's read a little bit more. In the ever-crowded live service shooter landscape, Helldivers 2 manages to carve out a place for itself with its fun narrative tone, punchy combat, intense firefights, and rewarding progression track. Helldivers 2 has plenty plenty of tense moments against the gargantuan bugs and hulking tank-like machines, but the entire experience is largely meant to make you feel good and have a laugh with friends, a refreshing notion for how darkly serious most major shooters are. One of my biggest complaints about this poor Suicide Squad is that it deviated so much from what we were used to Rocksteady. Of course, not every game needs to be dark. Of course, not every game needs to be serious. And not every game needs to stick to a story. If it honestly doesn't fit with the narrative they want to drive to the players, they don't have to do it. But where they fall off is when the game feels incomplete. Having played both Suicide Squad and Helldivers 2, I gotta say it's a completely different experience when it's with my friends. Obviously, with Suicide Squad, you can still have fun, but not to the degree of Helldivers 2. There's just something about the progression system in Helldivers 2 that keeps me running back. Whether it's the samples, the rare samples, the monetization and the drive to get skins, and it feels like everything that you want in the game can be unlocked without spending real money. You can play the game, or if you have the money, you can buy it. And all these other games always stretch and always reach to be some of the most money-hungry games. In a time where that is the goal, to see Arrowhead deliver Helldivers 2, which is now number 1 on the Steam charts, with over 170,000 reviews, guys, at 82%. Come on. That should tell us something. Let's look at some of the reviews on Steam. I saw the hype online and pretty much ignored it until one of those late night, I'm bored, what should I do moments. I'm about 15 hours in, which isn't bad for me as a fairly casual gamer. Here's a quick story from last night. Had trouble finding a mission that I could actually connect to, so I decided to just poke around on my own to get some practice on hard. I'm about 10 minutes in, get totally swamped with bots from all sides. My sentries are putting in work, but I'm on my last mag, and I am basically sprinting through the forest to find some cover. I try to hit my resupply and accidentally hit the SOS thing. So, again, if you haven't seen any gameplay, when you want to call in a stratagem, you have to input a code. Sure, there's ways around this because you can do a quick input, but there's something about when you play the game and you're mid-fight and you're getting swamped with all your bros and you're like, oh my gosh, man, I just need to call in an orbital. And then you misclick one key or one button on your controller and you're calling in the complete wrong thing. You're calling in a supply drop because you were too nervous, too scared. And I love it. I love that pressure. It reminds me of playing Black Ops 1 Zombies and getting totally swamped non-stop by zombies on round 30, just hanging out with the boys, didn't take it too seriously, spending that good old-fashioned fun time where a lot of people just lost it these days. Everything is so competitive. Everything is about PvP. Everything is just so money hungry that you can almost never enjoy. Let's read a negative review. He's played it for 5.5 hours. Mediocre AF. It's way, way overrated. It will die in no time. It is fun to play with friends, but really not worth the full price at all. The $40? The $40? The $40? It's almost like the devs knew that. Prior to releasing a fully priced $70 game, they cut it down to $40 because they knew that the experience, one, wasn't targeted at everybody online, and they didn't know it was going to blow up to that degree, hence the server issues. Yet, they dropped the price down to $40, which was one of the cheapest games that you can experience just recently coming out. I am excited for Dragon's Dogma 2, but guess the price tag on that game? Oh yes, I'm gonna pay it, and I don't have any room to complain, but it's a $70 game. And whether I play it more than I play Helldivers 2 is up to my personal mamma jamma. I think this game has definitely justifies $40. The grind, the playing with your friends, the fun times, it's all up to you. If you enjoy movies and you buy 2 tickets these days, it's going to come out to $30, and not including if you're going to buy popcorn and some drinks, you're looking at $60, $70, $150,000 just to go to the movies and watch terrible, mediocre Marvel movies. Goodness gracious, if they would just go back, honestly, the first time I ever dropped into Helldivers 2, I felt like Thor when we were fighting Thanos, and I just dropped in the middle of a swarm and started hacking away at all of them, and I felt like a god. Don't even say anything. Not recommended. Let's look at another review. To preface, I love this game. 7 to the 8 hours I have logged in at the time of this review are from my first session of the game. I couldn't stop playing it. All of the concepts I presume the devs had are executed perfectly. The gameplay is outstanding. The character progression may be a bit slow for some, but ends up providing great variety the more you play, and it is not pay to win. It's truly not. The multiplayer service and system is awesome as long as the servers aren't nearing full capacity, which they are regularly right now. That's a testament of how effing good this game is. What I don't like is just the one thing that Arrowhead did wrong, choosing their anti-cheat. So most of the complaints again were the server issues, but they use End Protect. End Protect is a scammy game and there are cheaters present all over Helldivers 2. I'm not going to keep reading any reviews and I'm going to go back to talking about it. Helldivers 2 is truly a breath of fresh air. In a time where you can buy a game and you can either get the best thing you've ever experienced, or if you're not a sorry console gamer, but if, not that they're sorry, I think anybody should play it console if they really have to, but if you're a Sony consumer, it's very hard to get refunds. So the moment you buy a game, you're kind of just, it's it, man. You can't really make a decision. You can't just take it back. Luckily on Steam and Xbox, so you can process some refunds very fast. And a lot of times on Xbox, you can just get it on the Game Pass. And I truly hope that this eventually comes to Xbox. This is a game that not many people will experience because it's that shooter third person. But man, when I tell you, there's some gameplay out there that just makes you jaw drop. Just seeing the beautiful scenery. The graphics are, they're okay. They're not like the best that I've seen. Honestly, that probably is going to go to Cyberpunk on Ultra with ray tracing. I just love the way Cyberpunk looks. Witcher 3. I like those realer tones. But man, I can't lie. The bugs, the automatrons, when you're shooting at them and you can see the decay coming from off their bodies and you shoot the Bile Titan and then the giant explosion that happens and their body just falls and then you just die because you were standing underneath of it. Man, this is a game that you ought to experience. Yes, I'm vouching for this game. There's no sponsorship. I don't care about a sponsorship. I'm going to tell you right now that this game right here is worth $40. It's worth $50. It's honestly worth $60. It's a game that is a multiplayer focused experience. The devs are working on it. They've pushed updates. They're talking about future updates already now. But guys, I'm telling you, I am excited that this game is out, that we got it in our hands, and I hope that we all get to experience it and fight for the democracy. You guys already know, this is for planet Earth. We must fight. We must fight. And I've tried to get all my friends hip to it. I got a few, man, and we've been playing on it nonstop. Honestly, I missed last week's episode and I've just been busy, but I found the time to play this game and I couldn't recommend it to anybody. I could recommend it to everybody, honestly. There's no genre. There's no specific person. If you don't like third-person shooters, that's it. That's the only people that I really don't see liking this game. If you don't like third-person shooters or shooters in general where you're fighting swarms of zombies with your friends, swarms of just massive bugs, exploding them while your character just screams in awe, this isn't for you. But if you're down to play with your friends, have a blast, and you don't care what's really there, and you like just shooting things, even if you play by yourself, I think you could still have fun. The pressure, the stress, it's a funny game, but it's serious when you're down there. You only get a certain amount of lives and you can't die so many. I could go on about this game for a very long time because it's worth talking about. This game is setting an example to all these AAA, just nasty, money-hungry people. Honestly, Rocksteady, I just can't believe that the game was a flop. I was very excited for Suicide Squad, and I ended up playing Helldivers 2 like triple what I played Suicide Squad. I just really couldn't. And it's not a bad game by any means, but it's not fun to the degree of Helldivers 2 with a much lower budget, with a much easier concept, and just it doesn't even have a narrative story. The story is just in the background while you talk and you see everything going on, and the leaders are talking about it on the TV at your ship, man. I just am excited for the future of this game, guys. Just keep it real, man. Keep it real. Remember to leave a like and subscribe. Peace out.